It is Monday. My name is Casey, and this is our weekly live YouTube get-together chat about ketogenic diet. My experience on it. If you are unfamiliar with my story, I've lost 95.4 pounds on the ketogenic diet starting in January of 2014. I try to show up here every Monday morning, Eastern Daylight Time, on YouTube, just to have a chat. I do have a couple of topics I want to cover today. And first of all, if you are seeing this and it is not between 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and probably about 9:45 Eastern Daylight Time, then you are seeing a recording of this. If you do not enjoy live broadcasts, maybe wait for the next old school broadcast. So here are the topics I think I'd like to cover today. And I want to thank Cindy, if you're out there. Maybe you have, you will recognize this topic as one that you suggested or that we discussed. And I think it was a really good one. So here we go. Cindy brought up a great question. She's been being successful on the ketogenic diet. And then she said she thought, really? This was the solution all these years? This actually works? Surely that cannot be the case, because if it worked this well, I would have been told about this. I've been trying to, lose weight for a long time, been to doctors and other professionals. Excuse me, my cowlick this morning. Really, no one told me? It can't be this simple. So it can't be legitimate. And I think that's a great point. I wonder if a lot of people don't wonder about that. The idea, well, it can't be that effective, or else everyone would be doing it and would have been doing it all this time. So how did that happen? I am not paranoid. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I am a realist, and I've done a lot of reading, and bet you guys have as well. The message didn't get out because it was being blocked. There were forces in the food industry and, frankly, political interests for, members of the government who represent grain-growing states to make fat the bad guy and make grains and carbs the good guy. And all of the, and don't even get started on the actual sugar industry. Keep in mind that all those things are really kind of sugar once they get through your liver. So, grains and rice and potatoes and soybeans and all that stuff ends up being sugars as far as your liver is concerned, and it turns into glucose in your blood. So, yeah, it is that simple. And the reason everyone hasn't been doing it is because, as Nina Teicholz's book is titled, The Big Fat Surprise. And Gary Taubes, 10 or more years ago, wrote an article in the New York Times titled, What If It's All Been a Big Fat Lie? It was a big fat lie. So you might be skeptical. You might have friends and family who are skeptical and say, well, it can't be that easy. You can't just keep your carbs low and then eat all these fatty meats and you lose weight. It really is that simple. Doesn't always mean it's easy, but it is simple. Now, this is a live broadcast, and I want to acknowledge folks who are popping in. Thank you so much for showing up, and I love seeing you here. Good morning to all. Excuse me. And so I'm going to rely on you guys to maybe answer each other's questions, acknowledge each other, so I can try to keep the topics going. And if you're just jumping in, talking about, is it possible that the solution, not only to the weight issues that so many of us have struggled with for decades, really was as simple as Stop doing low fat and start doing low carb. Eat moderate protein and fatty sources of that protein. Some olive oil, some avocado, and have at it. And you'll lose weight. Not only that, but you can reverse type 2 diabetes. That's really what's nearly criminal in my mind, is the fact that the message that this will reverse type 2 diabetes, that you'll go from being told to take insulin to just eating food, and your blood glucose normalizes. And type 2 diabetes is more than just, oh, my blood sugar's a little out of whack. It's a very serious condition. It impacts major organs. It's really dangerous to not get it under control. So, yes, the answer really is that simple. Good morning. Good morning, Pamela, Cindy. And I'm going to take a minute here. I have been somewhat remiss on previous live sessions. There are people, and this is going to be a little thank our sponsors type of break. So indulge me for just a second here. There have been people who are consistently present on the live events and consistently are generous with the use of Super Chat, and I don't always get to acknowledge them. So I actually went back and made some notes. So I want to acknowledge a few people. I'll do this again later. I'm not going to get to everybody in this first list. I want to recognize Pamela Ramsire, excuse me if I mispronounce names, Kay Kalla, AK, Karen from Alaska, Nancy Meadows, Kim Nordigan, VSG Angie 2016. Y'all, thank you so much for your generous support. It really has helped, and I have been able to translate some of these super chats into equipment. I think I showed the little camera, little tiny knockoff of a GoPro to do some sports filming and outside filming. So thank you. So commercial break or sponsor break over. Let's get back to another topic. Another topic that came up, and if you are watching this, you know who you are. The person we had the conversation yesterday, I don't want to call any names, was saying one of the challenges that that she was facing, and other people may, is, am I going to look at the rest of my life and never have another tortilla chip? That's insane. Never again will I have a slice of Domino's pizza for the rest of my life. And you know, that is a daunting thing to think about. First of all, if you make your decision on what you want to do, but it might help if you really do want to make a go of this, if you do want to get your weight under control, your health, get rid of inflammation, instead of thinking about it and say, well, thank you, Kim. You're very wonderful. Kim in Super Chat, thank you very much. Kim writes, good morning, Patreon was not working for me, couldn't get payments to process, so I'll donate through Super Chat. You're very kind, Kim, thank you. So instead, if you do want to make a go of this, and you sincerely do, but there is that part of your thought process that says, I don't know if I can do this. You know, no more stuffing at Thanksgiving. I'll never, you know, and just fill in the blanks. I'll never be able to do XYZ again. Try this. Try not looking at it in those terms of never for the rest of my life, because that is daunting. You know, people who struggle with addiction have to adjust their thinking as well sometimes. Instead of saying, I'll never have another drink of alcohol for the rest of my life. I mean, that's really, you know, say, I'm going to live the next 40 years without drinking, or I'm going to live the next 50 years without, whatever that might be. Don't think of it in those terms. I believe in most 12-step programs that the mantra is, you know, maybe I will tomorrow, but I won't today. So adjust that thinking. Don't say, well, I'll never again have another tortilla chip or another cookie, which, you know, maybe you want to not have another tortilla chip. Maybe you're very happy with this diet and you're happy with the effects and you're feeling better. But then there's that part of you. Can I keep this up for the rest of my life? Well, you can keep it up for the rest of your life because you've done it for however long you've done it, right? You're a strong person. If you've made it through the first month, you're strong because there is some adjustment. But don't think about it for the rest of your life. I don't think of it in those terms. I mean, I know that I will continue to eat this way, but I don't think of it in terms of what I won't be doing for the next 40 years. It's just, I just don't think of it that way. I've been asked, well, you know, when I get to my ideal weight, and frankly, guys, I might be where I'm going to be. That is going to have to be an adjustment for me. My weight is fairly weight stable right now, and I'm eating when hungry. I'm not going to eat less food than I need just for a number on the scale. So I think my body has found its where it needs to be. At any rate, the question has been asked, okay, so you get to your ideal weight, and so what do? Do you start slowly reintroducing carbs? No, not I. Because physiologically what would happen would be I wouldn't remain at my ideal weight. I would start burning glucose for fuel. And then that would start cravings, and that would start me being inflamed and get me right back. Even if I didn't put the 95 pounds back on, it would not be a good scene for me. So frankly, what I'm going to be doing is doing what I've been doing. Eating when hungry, eating fatty sources of protein. Some days I eat more, some days I eat less. Saturday, I ate a lot of food. I think if you go into MyFitnessPal, and I'm just Casey Durango, no space, you can see I ate a lot of food that day. We had an unexpected trip from our older son and his beautiful wife, and we went out to dinner, and I had already eaten, and I ate, and we enjoyed each other's company. And then so yesterday, I didn't eat much, not because I said, oh, I ate a lot Saturday, so now I need to really cut back. I simply wasn't hungry. You know, the idea that humans would eat the same amount of food every single day, I think is illogical. We are different day to day. We're different season to season. We're different year to year. Some days we need more sleep than others, don't we? Some days we can get by, you know, we pop out of bed at 5 a.m. after 5 hours and say, wow, I'm really energized. And then same day next week, you have to take an afternoon nap. We're different every day. So I ate not much food yesterday. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Listen to my body. Eat when I'm hungry. Stop when I'm satiated. The idea, so circling back, of doing anything or not doing anything for the rest of your life. I mean, I've heard the analogy, if you calculate how many times you're supposed to brush your teeth over the course of your lifetime, you say, what, I can't brush my teeth 55,000 times, or whatever that number is. You don't think about it in those terms. You just say, brush my teeth. In the morning, I brush my teeth. In the evening, easy peasy. Do it the same way. This actually, I found it helpful when I was trying to get back to eating only when hungry, or get to eating only when hungry, because I was eating out of habit. I would want to eat something, but I knew that I wasn't really hungry. I knew logically I wasn't hungry. I knew I was eating out of habit, but I really wanted to eat. So I set a timer. So maybe I'll eat in half an hour, but I'm not going to eat right now. And then set the timer again. And I really found that helpful too. It just kind of cleared up the cobwebs a little bit. Okay, and I do want to acknowledge some folks that have shown up. Hello to everyone. Thank you for joining in. Pamela says I pronounced her name perfectly. That's great. Yurith, you're on my list. I'm going to do another little thank the sponsors. These are folks that have contributed to Super Chat. I really appreciate it. I've been remiss in not acknowledging them before. They literally help make what I do possible because they do. Silver Willow, Mick Lockie, Joy H from Norway, really appreciated that. Darylyn, and Jenny Bickett. I think Jenny was the first person to ever do a super chat. So thank you. I don't know if you guys are on this morning. And Yurith Sanders has been in and shows up for almost everything and contributes comments and support on the Facebook page. Keto After 40 and Beyond is a group page. It's not my page. I started it, but it's the group owns that page and does a great job of giving support and answering questions. And it's really been wonderful to see. I think by the end of today, we'll probably have 6,000 members. There's my page, Go Keto with Casey, but I just kind of post my stuff there. And I love all the comments, and there's a lot of wisdom around. I do want to point out something. This is something I'm learning about myself. I have what's called a Patreon page, Patreon page, and it's for creators, and people can become patrons. That's what Kim was referring to earlier, and it just kind of helps. It's like patron of the arts. But there's another feature I didn't even realize was there because I just started this in March, and things are just taking shape now. There's a community tab. So if you go to patreon.com/Go Keto with Casey, you'll see my page. There's a community tab. People can post like you do at Facebook, but it's a much smaller thing. It's much more intimate. So I'm really tickled about that. So I'm hoping, because that is a real community as well, and I'm really hoping that like-minded folks will go there. And it's great to have 6,000 people on a page, maybe a little bit more manageable with fewer. And I can jump in a little bit more with that one, with commenting on that one. It's a smaller number. So here's another topic. So I had 3 topics I wanted to talk about. The first one was, could keto be so simple? Is this really this easy? Because why didn't anyone tell me about it before? I won't repeat myself, but suffice to say is they didn't tell you about it before because the people who could have told you about it weren't getting good information because they were relying on bad science, food conglomerates, and some bad politics to keep the grain and carbohydrate and fast food and processed food industries, which are very profitable, keep them going. If you have a chance to hear any lectures by Robert Lustig, Lustig, he's pretty much an activist about this, and you can find his lectures on YouTube. He talks about this very topic. Second topic was, don't try to think about what am I going to give up forever, because that is really self-defeating on anything, not just food. On anything, just think about what you have to do right now. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Just don't worry about it. Live for the moment. That's all we can really do anyway. We can try to prepare for the future, but we can only really experience the present. The next thing is, I do have people who have commented to me, and some very well-meaning, I think, concerned that I'm not eating enough. I want to point out something. Some days I eat less, some days I eat more. And the days that I consume by mouth fewer calories, keep in mind that that's what my mouth is eating. That's not what my body's eating. My body is getting the energy it needs from my body fat. So it is self-regulating. Keep in mind that when you're a fat burner, when you're burning ketones, burning fat for fuel, there are the calories here, and then there are the calories here. So if you, I have had people reach out and say, I'm a little concerned. I'm eating only when hungry, but according to my FitnessPal or whatever calculator they're using, I'm only eating 1,100 calories. That can't be right. That can't be good, right? Well, if you're in ketosis, you're not hungry. Your body is burning the rest of it that it needs. Make sense? Makes sense to me. And of course, that question could be, okay, Casey, if you're eating so little and your body is burning body fat, why am I not just dumping weight? Well, I don't need that many calories. Dr. Stephen Finney says he does not tell people how many calories they need. He's a world expert on this. He says everyone's just a little bit different, depending on gender, height, age, weight, activity level, body structure. You can see I'm Somebody thought I was tall. I am short. I'm 5 feet 1 inches tall. Okay. And I don't weigh as much as I used to, and I don't have that many caloric needs, I guess. So keep that in mind. Don't let a table, a chart, tell you what you should weigh. Don't let an app tell you how many calories you should eat. Okay? That's just a mathematical equation based on averages. Your body tells you how much to eat if you can listen to it. If you don't want to eat breakfast, if you're not hungry for breakfast, don't eat breakfast. If you love, you wake up and I'm hungry, eat a nice big fat breakfast. Leave off the biscuits and the hash browns and the toast and no orange juice. Just eat, and it doesn't have to be bacon and eggs. People say, I can't stand the idea of eggs. Don't eat eggs. Eat a pork chop for breakfast. If you have a casserole that you've made with chicken and cheese and whatever, have that for breakfast. No rules. Eat when you're hungry. Don't eat if you're not. Stop when you're satisfied. Leave off the carbs. Okay? Now, back to some members who've jumped in. Hello from Louisiana. Hey, Denise. Appreciate you too. And Yurith, thank you. And Karen from Michigan, good morning. And Tian Michelle, I just said to my husband yesterday that finally, since my teenage years, that I'm finally eating normal sized portions. You're 47. Yeah, I am going to say something else. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, excuse me. I forgot to take my multivitamin, and I'm almost out of coffee. FYI, we don't take any other supplements. We take a multivitamin and a fish oil, mostly because my husband wants to. I probably wouldn't even take those. So what is a portion size? I did want to talk. You don't have to buy anything to do this diet, okay? You don't have to buy any supplements. I would stay away from shakes, okay? Pills and potions and powders and stuff, exogenous ketones, Keto OS. My opinion, don't do it. But some tools that helped me when I started. I like this food scale. It's all beaten up because it gets used every single day. It has a pull-out thing. It's an OXO brand. Has an illuminated display, if I can remember to turn it on. An illuminated display. It measures in grams and ounces, which I really like because I really wanted to learn how much a portion was. So I used the food scale. And I use my FitnessPal to log information, make sure that the food you're entering is not some random person put it in there with, try to get verified. It has a little green check next to it. It means it's verified. And I use the keto sticks. Some people preach that they are useless and they're a waste of money and toss them out. Incorrect. False. That is not correct information. I find them and still find them useful. If you want, I'll probably do a video on that topic alone. Trudy asks, do I think starvation mode is a myth? Yeah. Now, your metabolism will ratchet down with age. Your metabolism will ratchet down on any diet where you are eating, you're eating less. That makes sense. You're eating less, you burn less. But starvation mode, again, I think that I've said this before. I think that's an insult to people who are actually starving. Okay, you're not going to go into starvation mode because you didn't eat for 12 hours. I'm not starving. Look at some of my food. I eat really well. It just ends up not being that many calories most days. Tony Girl. Hey, Tony Girl. I think I just messaged you. Can't wait until I get back on my caloric needs because we don't need as much as we age. I'll be 60 in May. Go keto. Exactly. Our bodies aren't what some of you might be 20 right now. If you are, enjoy it. because your body's not the same when you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay? It's not the same. It's not a bad thing. I am happier now with myself as a human being, with my brain, with the strength I found, than I was when I was 22. Okay? I was pretty cute at 22. But I wouldn't go back for anything at all. I just wouldn't go back for anything. I wouldn't swap it out. Oh, get the body you had when you were 22 and forget all the lessons you've learned. Nope. So I know this way of eating, Pamela, I know this way of eating works. I ate this way in the 70s and 80s against popular opinion. I was healthy and thin until I started eating carbs. I feel great and I'm losing consistently. Congratulations. You know, I did this in the 70s. I did this in college. I just wanted to lose about 10 pounds, you know, freshman 15. I was living on campus. And so I got the book, you know, the Atkins Diet Revolution. I read it, lost the 10 pounds, but I didn't think of long term. I just want to lose 10 pounds. I want to look cute in a bikini. And I did. So, but I was still young then, so I could go off it. I did it again in the early 2000s, I think 2002. I won't talk about that again. I did a video on that. Again, I wasn't thinking long term. I wasn't thinking this is sustainable for me. Because I was having the thought, am I not going to ever have tortilla chips with my husband in a Mexican restaurant again? And it would be really hard for me to keep that thought. So I stopped thinking it. I just started thinking I won't have tortilla chips today, and now I don't care about tortilla chips. Carmel McGrath asks, do you use the premium Fitness Pal? No, I use the free one. I'm cheap. Hi, Kessie from South Africa. Finally got your timing right. Great. And I think we've mentioned before, South Africa, it's all about banting. It's called the Banting diet. This is a very old diet, guys. It can be traced directly back to 1863 with William Banting. And it's called the Banting diet. It is not only sustainable, it's very healthful. I do want to go back to some sponsor thank yous. These are folks who have contributed over time on the super chat. Lori Van Cole, and thank you for your support on Patreon as well. Lori Fisher, Rhonda Baldwin, again, thanks for the support on Patreon. Paula O'Buckley, and Janie Bug. So thanks, y'all. If I have missed anyone, my great apologies. I do want to put in another plug for going to the Patreon page. I don't think you have to be a patron to post on that community slot. I don't know. I'm still learning the system. We're at about a half an hour. I would like to now turn a thank you again to those who have shown up. If I've missed a question, please put it back in and let me see if I can get to it. Thank you. Pamela says, I'm a cutie now. You know what? I'll own that. Somebody said I was really cute for my age. Bless them. Thanks for the compliment. I think I'm cute for any age. Yolanda writes, true, this is not for everyone, but some bodies like mine just cannot process carbs. And most people, Yolanda, get to that point. If you're not there now, excuse me. If your body is rocking and rolling and you're in your 20s, your early 30s, great. But most humans will get to the point where the insulin that's been triggered over and over and over, many times a day, over decades, your body simply stops reacting to the insulin and your blood glucose goes higher. That's what type 2 diabetes is. And that's why it used to be called a disease of middle age, because people who would have been fine earlier in life because their pancreas could shoot out the insulin and it regulated the glucose and everything was fine, you just become resistant. It's almost like, you know, the kid who cried wolf and the insulin says, you're not even paying any attention, forget about it. You know, you're going to have to figure this out on your own. You're going to have to quit eating all that carbs and sugar and starch because I'm tired of regulating your glucose. That's very simplistic. And there are some people who never encounter that. But it's not uncommon for people once they hit middle age, about 50, to start having issues where they didn't. They start putting on weight around the middle and their blood glucose goes up. Those two are related. Okay, Lady Fairfax, thank you for asking how much I charge for a half-hour coaching. I will refer you, I don't want to make this a commercial for me, so I will refer you to my website, kcdurango.com, and there's a coaching tab because there are a few options. Thank you for asking. Kessie, you're 68 now, and the best thing was starting Banting last year. You lost 10 kilos, still 5 to go. So kilos is, let me guess, if you lost 10, is that going to be about 26 pounds maybe, if someone can do the math, Kessie? That's great. And at 68, were you ever told as a woman, oh, if you haven't lost weight by age 45 or 50, that's going to be really hard. You're never going to make it. Big lie again. So that is great. And I will, if anyone has anything they want to share, if they have anything they want to ask, fire away. And otherwise, we can maybe start to wrap this up. I don't want to make this an overly long live session. People do have things to do. And I'm looking over my notes if there's anything. Oh, here's a tip. Get rid of your big clothes. Get rid of them. If you're down 2 sizes, get rid of the 2 sizes ago. Now, I've said hold on to one pair of big pants before because I wish I had, only because, you know, everybody wants to see the standing in the jeans picture, you know, it's where I was before. But I had made a decision once I started feeling really good and I recognized that this was really going to work. I just want to get rid of negative stuff in my life. And those clothes were negative. They represented a part of my life and a section of my brain I didn't want to deal with anymore. I wanted to get rid of it. But keep one pair of big clothes, deface them so you would never wear them in public again, if you want. Otherwise, get rid of the fat clothes. Because if you're keeping them, what is that saying? That's saying somewhere in your mind, you think, I'm going to need them again. And I'd rather hold on to them than have to go to the store and buy those giant clothes again, because that's embarrassing. Get rid of them. Cassie has asked a question, is extra sodium important? It depends on where you are. If you are feeling lightheaded, a little heart palpitation-y, if you're having some tingling, maybe even some numbness in your extremities, if you're just lack of energy, the quickest and easiest solution is to look at your sodium. Dr. Stephen Finney recommends 5 grams of sodium a day if you are not sodium sensitive hypertensive, okay? If you have high blood pressure and you're sensitive to sodium, that's, you know, make sure you're monitoring that. 5 grams is 5,000 milligrams. That's a lot. So I take my bone broth and I put kosher salt in it. I load it up, and that has helped regulate. And that's like every day. That's not just one time a week or once a month or something. Okay, Lori Fisher, thank you, and I hope I had you to, yes, I did say your name. Thank you, Lori, for the support. Love being fat adapted. Yesterday, ate good breakfast at 8 a.m., walked 6.5 miles playing golf. Wasn't really hungry until 5:30 p.m. Victory. And Pamela writes, as the clothes don't fit, they go out. I'm never going back there again. That is great. I really, really suggest doing that. And that's a hard, and you know what? That's like mental baggage you're getting rid of. More than just clothes. That's a big step to get rid of fat clothes. They're not going to take up space in your closet. They're not going to take up space in your brain. Get rid of them. That's my suggestion. All right, anybody else? Anybody have anything they want to share? Ask. Again, if you're seeing this and it's not between 9 a.m. and 9:35 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Monday, April 3rd, this is a recording. This is not live. Okay, and Trudy asks, when you fit into your old small clothes, that's good. Yes. Has anyone had that experience where you'd bought some clothes maybe 3, 5 years ago, still the tags on them, thinking, one day I'll get into them. And then you get into them? That's really great. Yes, Trudy, thank you for adding that. Okay, you guys, check out Keto After 40 and Beyond Facebook community page. There's a lot of good knowledge there. Check out patreon.com/GoKetoWithCasey and see if you, and I don't know the answer to the question, see if you can post on the message board there. A little bit more intimate. And thank you for the continued support. I will be posting more old school, straight up videos. I've really got a game plan, and that's what it's taking me, is time management. Thanks. You guys, I am going to sign off. Really appreciate it. Next Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, YouTube. Saturday mornings, I do a Facebook Live, 9 a.m. on Saturday mornings, Eastern Daylight Time. And I am incorporating an weekday evening live session for both. I had committed to doing that if I got to a certain level of patronage on my Patreon. And I got to that level. So I'm going to do that. Thank you, guys. You have a blessed day as well, Jane. Thank you very much. Hasta la vista. And send me some topics for videos and blog posts and et cetera, et cetera. I love the topics. I get ideas from you, and I get a lot of support from you. I mean, I get encouragement from you for my own journey. So thanks a lot. Have a great one.